to my channel. So today's video is going to be a book haul, and these are books that I got for Christmas, either gifted to me or I bought in the sales. So let's jump into things. And before I start, apologies if my hair looks a little bit wild. I know future me might look back at this and think, what was going on with your hair? I am starting to go through the process of the curly girl washing hair method, so we're trying to get some curls to, you know, look decent. So it's a little bit of like a lion's mane at the moment, but we're gonna rock it. So let's start with ones that I got gifted. The first one I got was from my best friend, and it is Murder Isn't Easy, The Forensics of Agatha Christie by Carla Valentine. She totally knows me, knows I love Agatha Christie, and this is essentially all about, you know, the forensics and like the nitty-gritty of the murders and like I guess how they came about and like everything you need to know. Oh bless her, she put the gift receipt in, but definitely did not need that. Yeah, and it looks like this person also has done another book on past mortems. Isn't it post-mortems? Past mortems. So I think that sounds interesting as well. I don't know what it is, but just things like that really fascinate me, and getting to know like the actual like scientific side of it. Not that I really had a great interest in science at school, but you know, so that's the first book. Sorry, I just shifted my camera around a little bit. Okay, the second book that I got for Christmas, this was one that I'd asked for. I'm currently reading it, hence I've just got the sleeve here, and this is Louis Theroux, Through the Keyhole, Diaries of a Grounded Documentary Maker. So this is Louis Theroux's newest book. I've got his last book here, which was called Gotta Get Through This. I love Louis Theroux. I think he is the best thing that's happened to Britain, especially for documentaries. He is like top tier with Attenborough, and yeah, this, I'm already obsessed with it. I know it's probably going to be a 5-star book. I probably will do a specific review of this once I've finished of some capacity, but I think if you want a book that you can reflect on in years to come about what the pandemic was like, especially here in Britain, because obviously it's from a British perspective, then this is the book to have. Because like, you know, now we're sort of 2 years on from the start of the pandemic, and there's some things in there where you like sit back and you think, yeah, we actually did that. I'd kind of forgotten in all the craziness of the past 2 years. So yeah, really enjoying that book at the moment. The other book I asked for was The Winter Garden by Alexandra Bell. I think I just stumbled across this on Waterstones and thought it sounded pretty cool. It says, welcome to Winter Garden, open only at 13 o'clock. On the night her mother dies, 8-year-old Beatrice receives an invitation to the mysterious Winter Garden, a place of wonder and magic. Filled with all manner of strange and sublime flora and fauna, the garden is her solace every night for 7 days. But when the garden disappears and no one believes her story, Beatrice is left to wonder if it is truly real. 18 years later, on the eve of her wedding to a man her late father approved of, but she does not love, Beatrice makes a decision to throw off the expectations of Victorian English society and search for the garden. But when both she and her closest friend Rosa receive invitations to compete to create spectacular pleasure gardens, with the prize being one life-changing wish, she realises she may be closer to finding it than she ever imagined. Now all she has to do is win. So it's not quite my usual thing. Like, I'm not usually one for, you know, magic, mysterious sort of fantasy in that type way, but did the cover, you know, draw me in a little bit? Probably. So yeah, that's all my TBR for this year. Oh, one thing I will show you is the new sort of book journal that I got this year. I will show that at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And then I think the final one that I was gifted was this one. This is Paris Fury, Love and Fury. She is Tyson Fury's wife, and Darren actually picked this up mainly because obviously Tyson Fury, he's a boxer. He has been very open about his mental health, and you know, this is obviously her side of things, living with someone going through that, and he obviously thought it would be quite interesting for me to read, obviously because, you know, me and Darren have both suffered with mental health. So then these ones are ones I've either picked up around Christmas or in the sales. The first one is A Three Dog Problem by S.J. Bennett. I read the first book in this, what was it called? The Windsor Knot. And it's basically like a murder mystery type thing set around Windsor and the Queen, and like the Queen trying to become a detective. It's very like whimsically British, and you know, has a bit of humour to it. I love a corgi, so yeah, I picked that one up. And this one and the next two I'm about to show you were ones I picked up in the sales at Waterstones, and while they were doing their half price on hardbacks. And the next one is Yours Cheerfully by AJ Pierce. That is what it looks like. Absolutely gorgeous book. Look at those sprayed edges, and then the icing on the cake, really. It's signed as well, so yes, picked this up on a whim, never heard of it before, but as soon as I saw like the edge of it, it caught my eye, and then when I saw it was signed and the sprayed pages, I was like, definitely need to see what that's about. So it says, London, September 1941. Following the departure of the formidable editor Henrietta Bird from Women's Friend magazine, things are looking up for Emmeline Lake as she takes on the challenge of becoming a young wartime advice writer for a column. Her relationship with boyfriend Charles, now stationed back in the UK, is blossoming. While Emmy's best friend Bunty is still reeling from the very worst of the Blitz, but bravely looking to the future, together the friends are determined to make a go of it. When the Ministry of Information calls on Britain's women's magazines to help recruit desperately needed female workers for the war effort, Emmy is thrilled to be asked to step up and help. But when she and Bunty meet a young woman who shows them the very real challenges that women workers face, Emmy must tackle a life-changing dilemma between doing her duty and standing by her friend. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. It's like a slight different take that I've not sort of read around before in the war, you know, the women's effort, so thought I'd give that a go. And then the last one I got in the sales was The Appeal by Janice Hallett. This is one that I've been very, very highly waiting to read. It says on the back, by the Times, Agatha Christie for the 21st century, a dazzling, clever murder mystery. Okay. So really gorgeous book as well. It says, there is a mystery to solve in the sleepy town of Lockwood. It starts with the arrival of two secretive newcomers and ends with a tragic death. Roderick Tanner QC has assigned law students Charlotte and Femi to the case. Someone has already been sent to prison for the murder, but he suspects that they are innocent, and that far deepest secrets have yet to be revealed. Throughout the Amateur Dramatic Society disastrous staging of All My Sons and the shady charity appeal for a little girl's medical treatment, the murderer hid in plain sight. The evidence is all there, waiting to be found, but will Charlotte and Femi solve the case? Will you? So it sounds like a really good murder mystery, like inspector's case. You know, you've got to try and be the inspector with it. There's a lot of like email like layouts in this from the looks of it, so yeah, can't wait to get that. It's probably going to be one that I read very early on in the year, I imagine. Okay, then the next two I've just sort of picked up. This one has a bit of a mystery because this is Giovanna Fletcher, Letters on Motherhood. I picked this up in Aldi and I was like, oh yeah, I really wanted to read that, and it was like $5.99. I thought, great. I got home and I was like, and I ended up scrolling through my Goodreads, mainly for another video I'm going to record on my top books of 2021, and it looks like I've already read this, but now I can't see it on my shelves. So and it's on my Goodreads that I read it this year and gave it 3 stars, I think, but I don't have it, so I must have gifted it away. So either way, I'm just going to keep this now, because it's not worth faffing around trying to go back to Aldi and trying to find the receipt for it. But yeah, I have read this, and now I seem to have acquired it again. And the last book that I have is one that I'm going to be doing a separate review on. It was the last book that I read of 2021. I really binge read this on New Year's Eve to try and finish my 50 books that I wanted to read. And this is Anxious People by Frederick Backman. So good, like 5 out of 5 stars, really ended the year on a high. Just a little bit of backstory. There is a bank robber that attempts to, you know, rob a bank. Little did they know they're about to rob a cashless bank. From the start we allude that this is not someone who's very experienced in bank robbery, and they end up running into a nearby building and running into a flat that has lots of potential people looking to buy it. It's, you know, a viewing for this flat. The bank robber basically takes these people hostage and it goes from there. But it is a very, like, everything goes wrong for this bank robber, you know, it's not a hostage situation. It is really well written. You get the perspective of the bank robber, but also the people, the policemen who are interviewing all the viewers that were in the flat that day, and, you know, trying to piece together what happened. Where is the bank robber, because they cannot find the bank robber. A gun went off and there is blood on the floor and they don't know where they've gone. So yeah, really like this book. Like I said, I will do a full review on this. So this is the last book I want to show you. I bought it just before Christmas, and yeah, it arrived just before Christmas, so it was perfect for me to start, you know, filling out over, you know, Christmas and the New Year, and to start today. And this is my book journal by Doodles and Calm. I had seen a couple of her videos way back when on TikTok and started to follow her. And then I sort of found quite recently, and when she did her last drop of these on Etsy, that she had come out with her own journal, like a bullet journal type, for, you know, basically recording all the books that you read, and it's like a bullet journal for books, really. So I have started to fill this out. I will show you a couple of pages in case you're thinking about looking for a book journal. So you've got the rating system, which you can fill out, and all the boxes. I will leave a link to her Etsy or her Instagram, and the video she did where she goes more in depth about this, if I can remember, down in a link below. I know some of them are, I don't know if all 3 colours are sold out, but I think she may have opened a pre-order for them. Number and fill all these in once you've finished your books. And then just some like motivational things for when you're in a bit of a reading slump. This is like the infamous bookshelf that you fill in and write the name of the book on the side. Some place to put like the top books you read that year, and then this is another popular thing you see quite often, where you select like your favourite book from the month and then you sort of battle them off against each other until you get like your top 3 books of the year. And all-time favourites like book cart, which looks like the book cart I have, so you can put in some of your favourite books. If you're wondering, on here I've got so far Jaws, and then There Were None by Agatha Christie, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, The Hunger Games, Divergent series, Harry Potter, that sort of thing. And then there's more of like daily trackers for like how many pages you read, and then like book releases, genres that you read, so you can like keep a tally of what you like. And then you can put in all the books at a glance that you read each month, and then obviously a place to put all of your reviews. So I do have a Goodreads account, so I loosely rate my books on there. That's sort of my main place that I like to list my books, and I won't stop using that, because especially when you're on the go, it's great, especially if you're in a bookstore, so you don't end up with doubles of books. But I think this will be a really good like timepiece to have, like a capsule of 2022, and yeah, really enjoying filling it out so far, and yeah, looking forward to completing it as the year goes on. But that's all of the books that I've got to show you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like it if you did, so I know to start doing more book reviews, and let me know down below one book that A, you're most anticipated about reading this year, and B, a book that was your absolute favourite last year and that you would recommend to me. I'd love to always get new recommendations, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future content from me, and I will see you very soon. Bye guys.